Hi there, my name's Vince from mymatevince.com, and in this video today I'm going to be replacing the Game Gear screen with a McWill version. So these are like another screen that you can get that's supposed to look a lot better, and also I think it's going to use less energy as well, so the battery should last longer. Now it also comes with VGA outs as well, but I'm going to be doing that in a different video because I don't want the video to go on for hours. There's going to be a lot of soldering to do just with the screen alone, so this will be the first video, and then I will also do a follow-up video about the VGA maybe tomorrow. So yeah, I've unpacked it, and it comes with two lots of instructions depending on what motherboard your Game Gear has. So I need to open this up and then I know which instructions to follow. I've got some Cat5e cable just to use as the wires, because there's a lot of wires to run from here to various parts in the board. And the reason I'm changing this one out is because if you look, it's very pixelated. So I actually fixed this well over a year ago, and I couldn't get rid of the pixels because there's an actual problem with the screen itself. So if you have a look now, everything on this works fine, and the contrast and everything, but look there, can you see all those pixels? Just lower it down. Yeah. Okay, now when I first of all did this, a lot of people said that they thought it might be the polarizing film. It's not, because if you look in this top corner here, I peeled it off, and I think from memory there was a film out the back as well. And then I held it up to the light, and on the actual glass screen I could see the damage on the pixels. So yeah, really it's still playable, but it isn't very good. Yeah, see from certain angles it looks worse. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing. So let's take this thing apart here and let's see which board it's got. For the one up here, you need a game bit, and then all the others are just crosshead screws, 6 of them. So now we're just going to be unplugging these two and also this. So now that's released from it. Right, so we have what looks like the first board. Let's just double check that. This is 8379130, and if we have a look here, 8379130. So maybe this was one of the first ones that came out. So this is the one that I'm going to be following here. Now we've got a lot of steps to do on here. So let's go through them one by one and see if we can make sense of them. But before I do that, I need to take the board out completely. You can see that this board was previously recapped when I fixed it before, because all the caps have been replaced. Okay, so I've got the board out. Now, just to make it easy for myself to stop this flying around all the time, I am just going to peel it off from the bottom here. Now, it doesn't matter if I ruin this screen because it's ruined anyway. Obviously, if you had a good screen, then you'd want to take this off really carefully. Maybe try to apply a bit of heat might help it. Whitish, but when you scratch it, they go back to silver underneath. So I can give that a good clean up because we do have to solder onto them. So first of all, we've got to remove numerous different things. So if you have a look here, it says remove resistor 33, 34, 32, 57, 56, 41, 38, 44 and 43. So there's a lot of them to remove, and they've given you a little diagram here of where they are to make it easier to find. So I am going to be turning the board around this side here, and now I've got to find all these little resistors and try to take them off. Now, to make it easier for myself, I'm going to be using these soldering tweezers. These are only very cheap ones. You can tell they're not the best quality, and also they don't always line up properly. But let me just use a screwdriver and try to get them to line up as good as they can. Okay, so this is the little one we're going to be removing. I'm not sure if these are hot enough yet. Let's see. What I might do is, oh, there we go. I was going to say I might add some flux, but I didn't need to. Now what I'm going to do with those little resistors and everything else that's going to come off the board, I'm actually going to keep them because they might come in handy for you know, another repair in the future on the Game Gear. So now I've got to find where number 34 is. Right, that was a very hard one to do, that was. Now I have to do R32, which is the one next to it, so I should be able to get to that one. My soldering tweezers are only very cheap ones. I think they cost like £10 or £11, but already they've come in useful for quite a few jobs, so I think it'll be a good tool. Might even be worth getting some better quality ones. Right, now we have to do these two here, 57 and 56. This L2 coil is getting removed, so that's getting in my way at the moment. So I think I'm actually going to remove that now before we go any further. Alright, it gives me much more room now to remove this one. Right, now we've got to do R41. R38. We're doing R44 and R43. So we should have 9 resistors off. Let's see what we've got. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Excellent. So that's all the resistors off, and we've done the coil as well. So now what we have to do is, it says here, remove L2 coil, which we've done. Now we've got to remove Q6, Q4 and Q3 transistors. Right, so Q6 is this one up here. So again, I'm just going to use the tweezers. I haven't got any flux or anything at the moment. Just going to see if this will heat it up enough to remove it. Yeah. Right, Q4 is slightly bigger. I might have to use, might not be able to do it with these tweezers. I might have to use something else. Might have to use some solder braid or something. That came off okay. And we've got to do Q3, which is this one here. Let me turn the board around so you can see it better. Right, okay, I've ripped the pad up on that one, but I don't think I'm replacing anything on it, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, so that's them ones up. Now we have to do capacitors. So it says here, remove C69 and C70 capacitors. So C69 is this one up the top. And C70 is this one here. That's all done there. We've already removed the LCD, and now it says remove middle plastic screw mounting off the upper housing with pliers. So that's this one here. Where is it? Here we go. So now I've got to remove basically this one here. So let's cut that. Okay, so I presume that will do there. I don't know how low it has to be. I'll see if it fouls later. If it fouls, and I can cut it down lower. But a lot of these other ones are sticking up quite proud, so I presume that these are the things that the new screen's going to mount on, in which case then this is below them anyway. Right, so that's that bit done. Now it says remove CLF lamp and fuses FU1 and F2. So these are the fuses, FU1 and F2. Out. Definitely going to keep that because that could come in useful for another Game Gear. And I'm going to remove these very long fuses now here and also here. It says replace R24 with R30. So let's get rid of R24 and replace it with R30. R24 is this end one here, and R30 is all the way over here. Taking off R30, I'm not sure if I was actually filming that part or not. Don't think I was because my camera turned off. So now this is R30 that I'm putting in place of in R24. If I can't do it with this, I'm going to get some hot air. Okay, that went in place. Yeah, that's in. Right, now I need to replace R25 with a 200 ohm resistor which is enclosed. So R25 is the one next to it. Apologies, I keep forgetting to press record every time I zoom into macro. Okay, so I've just taken R25 off, and now in the kit they give us 200 ohm resistor, so I'm just going to go get that. Now originally I thought I didn't have it, but if you look closely in the VGA you can see that it's stuck in the middle. Okay, so this is it here. In the kit you get one resistor and two capacitors, so you know which one is the resistor. Also the resistor is the black one. Right, let's see if we can place this. Right, annoyingly it just pinged off and I'm not sure where it went, so I've now got to try to find out where it pinged off to. Annoyingly, I can't find it. Obviously I'm going to look for it more because it's going to be it's going to delay everything if I have to order one of those off the internet, because I haven't got any of them. But at this moment in time I'm on carpet here, and annoyingly it's carpet beige, which is good, but it's also got black flecks and stuff in it which doesn't help when you're looking for something this big. But saying that, I know that is tiny, but it should still be big enough to see. So I'm still hopeful that I will find it. So I don't know how long this is going to take me. It's going to be a hands and knees job, I think, for a good half an hour or so. Right, losing things is really annoying, but the feeling of finding them again is amazing. So I've managed to find it again. So now let's see if I can get this on with the soldering tweezers. Okay, so I've got to put it on where it says R25. On. Remember, I can clean it all up afterwards with IPA. I need to replace C39 and C40 with the two enclosed 10, is that picofarad capacitors? That's these two here, C39 and C40. Let's get rid of them too. See, if it wasn't for the soldering tweezers, this would be awkward. You'd probably have to use hot air everywhere, and in doing that you might end up dislodging other components. Right, and these are the other two I'm going to be replacing them with. Okay, so they're done. And now it says replace R13, R14, R15 and R16 with a 0 ohm bridge. So we need to bridge them. So they're all the ones down here, 13, 14, 15 and 16. Right, it's a bit unclear, but I presume it must be 13, 14, 15 and 16. So it must be these four here. So let's remove them. Well, I've got them all off, but I'm not happy about that pad, so I just want to double check where it goes off to. Mind you, it's stuck back down now. Okay, well, any problems, it was R16, wasn't it? That says R15, hold on, 13, 14, 15, 16. This must be 17. 18, yeah, okay, so it was this one here. Oh no, there you go. Right, well it is still hanging on and looks like it comes from here, so I think I'm going to be okay. So what I'm going to do now is, I am now going to remove my soldering iron, my tweezers. They've done their job. Again, £10 well spent, although the ends of them are massive, you can see that they're just about good enough. Maybe, do you know what, if I had spare ends, what I could do is I could file them down, couldn't I? I could grind them down more into a point, but then they might not push enough heat into the board. They'd be fine on little things like that, but if I needed something bigger, they might not work properly on that then. Heat up my other soldering iron now. Now, I'm hoping I can just add solder into these bits here to bridge them. I've got quite a big tip on my soldering iron. I've got my solder here. Let's see if I can bridge them up. Obviously, I only want to bridge them to each other and not, you know, not all the way across. I'll be able to bridge them, but I don't know, I've got quite a lot of solder on there now and it doesn't want to... No, I'm going to run a little bit of wire, otherwise what's going to happen is they're just all going to stick to each other. So I'm just going to get my Cat 5e wire and just cut up a tiny bit of that. I'm just going to tin up my wire beforehand because it will just make it easier to put on. No, I've mucked that one up completely because I've just ripped off both pads, not just one, I've ripped off both. Ah, now that's going to cause me problems, isn't it? Oh, annoying. Right, okay, let me get the last jumper on and then I can worry about what I'm going to do on that. So you can see that these ones here are joined, this one and this one, but I'm going to have to get the fiberglass pen now and rub all along here to see exactly where the traces go. Maybe it goes from here to here, I don't know, in which case I can jumper from here to maybe another component to join it up. Let me get the pen and see what's happening. Scrape that down. What's annoying is I've opened up the window because of the smell of the solder. Look what's just flown in, a massive moth, look at him. Right, let's get rid of him. He's going to come straight in again though because it's so bright in here and it's dark outside. Right, so you can see now that we've got a tiny pad here which goes to this, so that's fine, I can join to that. And where this goes to, I don't know. I wonder, does it go to there? Let's see. Okay, so I've got my meter on continuity. And let's go on to here. So we definitely know that that's the one there. Right, so that's fine, we can solder to there. Now let's see where this goes. Excellent, so all I have to do is... Oh, do you know what? This is all bridged anyway. All I have to do is a wire from here to here. So I got away with that quite nicely, didn't I? Oh no, hold on a minute. No, wait. I've just moved the track. No. 1 second. The track is so hard to see. Now I need to do more scraping, don't I? Right, now I can see it better. Right, so let's just double check. The one at the very end here is going to be this top one. This one's that one, and where is this one here? So that's not going to anything else. But I should be able to get a tiny bit of wire from there to there, I think. Right, I've got the multimeter, let's see what's happening. So we should be going from here to, shouldn't be short in here. No, it's not, that's good. It should be short in here. Yeah, and I am actually on the track there and not the wire. Hold on. Yeah, there we go, excellent. Now let's make sure it's not short in here. That one is. That one is. And I don't know where that goes to, but I haven't cut that. So I think I've got away with it. That's short in. That's short in. That's short in. Now, I made a massive big deal out of that by not taking enough care on those pads. It broke pretty easy though, but I think I've gotten away with it. So now what I have to do is I have to put some UV mask on that and let that go off so it doesn't oxidize in the future. And then I need to check to make sure it's not reading more than 5.45 volts between the VCC and ground. So let's get the UV done and then we can worry about the voltage. Right, so that's covered up all the exposed tracks. Now I'm going to shine the UV light at it and let it go off. So I've just gathered up all my bits and bobs in here, and I've put SEGA Game Gear spares from McWill kit, and then I know exactly what these are in the future. And you never know, probably won't ever use them. There might be a chance of getting a Game Gear with a faulty light or something like that, in which case then I don't have to buy that. Now I'm just going to set this UV mask down here because it's still wet, and after a recommendation from a viewer I've got myself a more powerful UV light, so I'm going to shine that on there, and hopefully it won't take as long to dry, because beforehand I was just using the ones that came with the plastic welding, you know, just repairing your glasses and repairing things around the home, and that the light in that was absolutely tiny. So hopefully this will do it a lot quicker. Right, it's still taking a long time. I mean, this has been about 5 minutes now, but it has formed a skin. Good thing about it is, because the bulb itself is quite far back, and also you've got this, like the cover juts out further than the lens, it's quite useful just to basically just rest on here. Like that. Maybe it takes a bit longer than if it was slightly further away, but it's the most boring thing in the world, holding that over there for 10 minutes while it sets. So it definitely is an improvement over what I was using before. But while I'm waiting for that to go off, I might as well cut these bits here, because if you look, the next section here, it says to cut off these end bits. So it looks like I just have to do 1, 2, 3, 4, not that end one, just these 4. Right, so to try and get a nice neat cut, I'm just going to use these cutters here. Screw that back on. I think that looks alright. Right, I'm going to pop the batteries back in here now, because we have to check for voltage. Yes, there you go. It's gone nice and flat, and also hard as well. So I'm hoping now that the resistor will still be, sorry, that little jumper wire that I put in there will still be okay. If anything, by putting a UV mask on, it should kind of bond it all together more and stop it coming off if this was dropped or anything, because it's like, in a sense, it's like a lump of glue on top. Right, so let's pop this in here. Okay, so I have to check for 5 volts now between what it says here. Now check the 5 volt with a voltmeter at VCC ground of the Game Gear. If the voltage exceeds 5.45 volts, fix your Game Gear, otherwise the Game Gear mod will be damaged. And if you have a look down at the bottom here, you can see pins 35 is the VCC and pin 16 is the ground. So let's zoom right in to find them, and then I can measure it, and then I can bring the camera out to show you. Like everything is correct so far. Fantastic. Right, now we need to move on to the next part of it, and this is where we have to do all the soldering off the wires. So now I've flipped it over the other side, and it says first solder 1 wire to VCC of the Game Gear mod and 1 wire to ground of the Game Gear mod, and leave the other ends. Right, so if you have a look here, we're going to be going to, so this is the card down here, VCC here and ground. So let's now turn this off. Oh look, my little light's on as well. Probably can't see it because it's so dark. There you go. I mean so light, sorry. Right, let's take the batteries out again. Screen protector on here, so I don't care about fingerprints and anything else. So I'm going to be going to VCC and ground. So first of all, I'm going to get the soldering iron back on, and I'm going to put a bit of solder on there, and then let's start stripping some wires back. Okay, I've changed my mind. I'm still using Cat 5e cable, but I'm going to use stranded cable because I'm thinking that it's less likely to rip the pads off because it's a lot more flexible. And I'm just going to untwist it because I don't want them to be twisted around each other. Now remember, obviously it doesn't matter what colour wire you use as long as you do the same on the other side. So some people would use red for this and maybe black for the ground. But I'm not going to. I'm just going to use orange and then white for the ground. Remember, the wire doesn't know what colour it is, so as long as you know where to put the other side, it doesn't make a difference. Now, I'm not using flux or anything because it's all nice and new. I think it's going to be just fine. So that's those two done. Now it says, so we've done that. And leave the other ends. Now slide the Game Gear mod onto the Game Gear PCB and solder the 2 wires VCC and ground of the Game Gear mod to the Game Gear PCB. So that must be to here and here. So we're going to be doing orange to 35 and white to ground. Okay, so I've lined it up with what I think it is, but it's a bit confusing because there's a tiny little cutout here which makes you think that needs to go further over towards the hole. But if I do that, this one here hasn't been cut out, it's cut out at the top. And you can see that that hole does not line up with that hole, but yet this hole does line up with that one. So maybe the different revisions of boards have slightly different sizes or something. Anyway, what I'm going to do is, I don't know how to route this at the moment, so I'm just going to put it down. I think I'm just going to put it around this way. I'm going to leave some slack and then I can always move it if I need to. I don't want to do it too tight. Okay, so VCC here to pin 35 here and the ground to pin 16 here. So now we have to solder one wire from the T10 to the lower pad of R23 on the Game Gear board. So basically these ones here. So if you look close, all I've got to do is go between here and here. That little test point here, T10, to the bottom of R23. Right, okay, so that's that one done. What I did is the wire came off and I thought I ripped off the pads, but I didn't. So I had to scrape a little bit back with the fiberglass pen again. What I might do is I'll give it another couple of goes, but I might go over to a thinner wire because these wires are quite big for the size of the pads, but I'll see what else is involved. So again, I'm just going to put a tiny bit of UV mask on it. And put the light on it again. Right, so that's gone off. So now what we have to do is, it says here, now solder one wire from the clock 32 MHz of the Game Gear mod to FB1 on the Game Gear PCB. So basically, if you have a look here, the clock one is the middle one and FB1 is this one here. So if we zoom in a bit more, I have to go between here and here. Now to begin with, I wasn't sure which one to go to, but if I get my multimeter to continuity, they are actually connected to each other. So you can see there's a kind of bit in the middle here, and if you listen, you can hear they're connected. So it doesn't matter which one it goes to. That's soldered. Now let's do the next bit. Then solder one wire from GGSMS, which is this bottom one here, to pin 42 of the Game Gear cart slot, and pin 42 is this one here. That's that one done. Now it says solder pin 1 of the thumb wheel to VCC on the Game Gear board. So VCC, we know what that is because we did it earlier, and pin 1 of the thumb wheel is up here. So pin 1. Just to show you what I'm doing on each wire, all I'm doing is I'm just taking off a tiny bit and then I'm just tinning the very end of it. Like so, and that will make it nice and easy now to connect up. Right, so we've done the pin 1 thumbnail to that, and then solder pin 3 of the thumb wheel to ground on the Game Gear board. Okay, pin 3 is the third one down. So I'm just going to add a tiny bit more to the actual solder that's already there, and we might as well use white again like we did before. Right, so we've done the pin 3 of the ground on the Game Gear board. Now, if you don't want to install the VGA connector, you can leave the backlight wire. Okay, we'll forget about that at the moment. Otherwise, solder one of the backlight wire to pin 2. Right, we won't worry about that at the moment. That's the backlight one there, but I definitely will do that. I promise I will do a video on that. Because I want VGA on it, it's just I don't want this video to go on for 2.5 hours. Right, now, hold on. Right, otherwise solder one of the backlight to pin 2 of the thumb wheel. And one wire from C-Sync of the Game Gear mod to T2 of the Game... Right, let me just read that again. If you don't want to install the VGA connector, you can leave the backlight wire. Otherwise, solder one wire from the backlight of the Game Gear mod to pin 2 of the thumbnail and one wire from that, so we don't have to do that. Now, solder 3 wires from butt 1, butt 2 and butt 3 of the Game Gear mod, which is over here, to butt 1, butt 2 and butt 3 of the Game Gear board. Right, well, where are they? Oh, here we go. Has them here. Butt 1, butt 3 and butt 2. Oh, and you've got to go to that side of that capacitor, for example, and that side of that capacitor and the bottom of that capacitor. Right, okay, so let's turn this over and let's tin up these little ones here. And I'm just going to put extra solder on the points we're going to. Confused, it's button 2, button 1 and button 3, it doesn't go in order. That's them 3 done, and I've just done it in different colours to make it easier for myself. They all went on quite nice actually. Something quite nice about seeing different colour wires on the board. Well, let's see what we have to do now. Last step is to solder 6 wires from the old LCD ribbon CL2 pin 9 D1. Okay, so look, CL2, which is pin 9, D1 is pin, must be 16. Yeah, 16. Okay, so we've got to solder them to C2, D1, DO, DW, D2, D3 of the Game Gear board. Well, I presume they have to go in order. So, for example, oh, of course, look, C2 to C2, D1 to D1, DO to DO. Okay, so for example, we will do pin 18 to DO, and DO is where are they all? The Game Gear mod. Where are these pins? RGB. Oh, here we go. It's on the other side here. Look, D1, DW, D3, C-Sync, CL2. So these are the 6 I'm going to be doing. So I'm going to be working on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'll be dealing with this one here when it comes to the VGA. Right, so I'm going to tin up the 6 ones over here. These are going to have to be quite long wires because they're going right around to the bottom of the board here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to clean up this because it's a mess down here. So let's just... oh, here we go, look. That's cleaned up quite nice actually. Let me zoom in on that. Right, I won't bother adding solder to them because I'm only going to add solder to the ones that I need to solder to. There's no point in risking bridging loads of them. So I think what I'm going to do to begin with is I'm just going to solder wires onto this bottom bit here, and then I'm just going to leave them long, and then I can worry about which wire goes up to these particular ones here. Tinned up my wire. And now I have to find pin 9. Right, so that one's on now, and it feels quite secure. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put Captain tape on it when it's all done. So now I've got to go across all the others as well. Right, okay, so these are done now, so let me just double check. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's definitely 9. That's correct. Now the next one is 16, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. It's amazing how hard it is to do this. Remember, these are very small. So next one's 17, 18. That's 18, and then it's 19 and 20. So that's all correct. Now we do a massive jump all the way to 39. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39. Again, not short in anywhere. And now we're 57. 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57. Let's count up to 68. 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68. Perfect. Right, so they are all on nice and strong. I'm really happy with how those have gone. Look at that. Perfectly straight, and they're on well. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put a bit of Captain tape across here and also do it so they go up this way as well. And I'm thinking then that they will hopefully stay in place okay. I suppose this was where it's kind of better to use thicker wire. Right, so this is the Captain tape. This is stuff that doesn't basically burn, you know, the heat-proof tape. So you can see that that all looks nice and neat that side. So now we have to solder up this side here. Just while I've got the Captain tape out, I'm going to put some over this bit. Need to work out each one here and solder them up here following the diagram here. So first one is going to be CL2, so I'm going to solder this white blue or white green, whatever it is, white green, to this one here. Right, okay, so that's them all soldered up here now, and obviously these ones correspond to the pins down the bottom that you've seen before. So now I'm going to put a bit of Captain tape over that, just to keep them nice and secure, and try to neaten up this wiring a little bit down here. Right, okay, so I think that is it. You can switch scan lines, retro style, and scale it on and off by pressing the buttons Start, Fire 1 and Fire 2 together and hold. Default is scan lines on VGA is on, retro style on 3.5 LCD equals off. Switch VGA internal 3.5 LCD by backlight knob. TV mode is active when 3.5 LCD is on. TV mode is active. Well, you know, I don't have to worry about that because I'm not doing the LCD in this video, so I can worry about that in the next one. So it looks like now it's just going to be a case of putting it back together. Now, obviously, I don't know if it works or not, but I was happy with how the soldering went on there. Really happy, actually. Right, let's try to put this back together now, and also I have to take off this screen protector. Try to keep my fingers well away from it. Lovely, nice and clean. Just going to go this way. Now what I didn't do, I didn't solder in the screen, did I? Yeah, it says here I forgot to do this. Look, place exactly and fix with solder here, here. And I don't know, maybe you need to do a little bit down the bottom. I'm just going to do where it says. Okay. Okay, so I've soldered up a big lump there and also a big lump on there as well. If it needs to be moved, I can always unsolder them. They'll come off relatively easy. Oh, what am I doing? There is no post there, is there? That's the reason that's not going in. That was the post that I took out, wasn't it? I haven't damaged anything now. You know what, I really hope that hasn't ruined anything. I'm hoping this is a blunt screw. Yeah, it's relatively blunt, so hopefully that hasn't caused any damage there. Right, okay, let's pop the batteries in and let's see whether this is going to fire up or not, or whether I'm going to have to fault find for hours on ends. Let's get a game, plug it in. Right, that's never straightforward, is it? No, what have I done wrong? And it's gone off. Ah, what have I done wrong? Well, I can hear it. No, it's gone off. Right, I've obviously something's short in somewhere, or something bad is happening, isn't it? Oh, I thought that was all going to be okay, you know. I hope I haven't mucked up that thing there now. Be annoyed if that's the case. I suppose everything can't be mentioned in the instructions, you know, a certain amount of common sense has to prevail. Let's have a look. I mean, you can see the damage, but that's not on that's not going through traces or anything. Look, just here. I don't think that's the issue. Right, is something else shorting? Something must be shorting somewhere. Take the Captain tape off. And let's inspect each of the connections. And this, of course, is to do with down here. Right, okay, well I've tried another game and it's doing exactly the same thing. Sometimes it stays on for a few seconds, sometimes it cuts off straight away. I'm wondering if it's something down here. I mean, I did test it with my multimeter, but... oh, I don't know. What else could it be? Right, before I scrape that off, I'm going to go through every single connection one more time. I'm just going to make sure I've done every single capacitor. I mean, right now I'm 100% sure I have, but obviously it's not working, is it? So I don't want to start ripping apart this if, for example, I've removed the wrong capacitor or something like that. Right, okay, I've checked everything up to here. Remember, we were getting the 5 volts. So surely if there was something wrong under this solder mask, would we still be getting the 5 volts? If that was incorrect? Now I've got my voltmeter here. And watch this, if I go between here and here. Remember, this was the VCC and the ground. Now there's no gaming at the moment, but look. Right, so it's turned off straight away there, but it doesn't always turn itself off straight away. And if it doesn't, I am getting 5 volts. 4.8. 4.8 volts, and you see the picture staying on now. No, now it's just gone. So for that short amount of time I am getting that. See, I reckon if I unsolder all the wires, I still think I'm going to get 5 volts here. I'm not saying it is it, but you know, is it possible that the screen could be faulty? I really don't know what to do. Don't know how much time to waste on it. Thing is, it's actually they cost quite a bit of money, and I did pay for it. Really do not know what to do, because once I start taking that solder mask off, then I'm probably going to cause a load of damage. I'm going to have to think about this. Also, it's really late at night now. It's gone 1:30 in the morning. Been on this, it's taken a long time. Don't know what to do. Maybe I might go to bed and see how I feel in the morning. Right, okay, what I've done is I've unplugged the screen, just a ribbon cable, and then I started it up. Obviously there's no screen on it, but listen, the game's working. So what I've done is I've just unplugged this screen here. Oh, I know what it is. It's that goddamn screw. It was when I put that screw back in. Oh, I'm pleased in a way, because at least I know it wasn't my soldering. I can't believe that. That's really annoying. I wonder, am I the only one to have done that? Oh, I bet you others have made that mistake. Look, you know I said there's no damage on that side. We'll have a look on this side here. You can see that there is damage. Let me zoom right in. I didn't think I damaged it because of that side, but look, can you see here? I wonder, could I flatten it out? I wonder, is there any way I could flatten this out? So I suppose what's happened is the ground from this side is probably now shorting with one of the live ones from the screen. Okay, well, I mean, yeah, that's not really much I can do about it. Let's plug this back in, and let's just see on the off chance that by flattening it there, if it's fixed it. I wonder if there's any way I could sort of make it go out a bit more so it's not touching. Right, let's see what it's doing now anyway. No, and it goes straight off because the live ones from the screen are hitting the ground below it. Wonder. No way that's going to separate, is there? So this one's probably the backlight here.
Can't believe I came so close. Because apart from the end bit with the screw, I did think this actually went quite well. Let me put my eye loop right on this. Right, you know what, it's nearly 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to go to bed and see how I feel about this in the morning. Realistically, there's not much I can do about it because this is going to be sealed in here. These are absolutely tiny. There's no way I'd be able to get any wires onto them. They're just far, far, far too small. As well as that, now I've got a problem down here with this one here. I scraped away the UV mask on it, and it's come away from the one of the pins. That's not a problem. I can solder that back on, but that's loose at the moment. Yeah, I'm going to go to bed and do it again tomorrow morning. So it's the next day now, and I'm going to spend probably about another hour on this trying to get it sorted, and then I'm going to give up because I don't want to waste my whole day on it. So basically, I'm certain that this is the damage. Well, I'm not certain. I'm 99% sure. I can't be 100% sure because I'm looking at the damage here and thinking that's it. But of course, it could be something else. Annoyingly, I haven't got another LCD to test on this. If I did, I could prove it 100%. But every time we connect this, the game does stop working, and also the Game Gear cuts out. So it says to me that there's a short in here. Now, I had a look on the microscope because I know that I can see damage here, and obviously it was bulged up here. But looking under the microscope, all these lines here do actually look intact, but there is damage here. So what I'm thinking is maybe it's gone through here and exposed the copper, which you can see, and then it's possibly rubbed the copper on the other side of these lines to short this to this. So I think these are my options. This at the moment to me now is junk. So I think I'm going to get the fiberglass pen, and I think I'm going to keep rubbing on this side here to try to expose the copper in a bigger area, and then I might be able to I don't know whether I'd be able to scrape this bit away, because look, we've got so much ground here. I don't necessarily, as far as I can see, need this little bit here. So if I could take this section away completely, then it doesn't matter if the other sides are exposed or not, because if they're not shorting against anything, then hopefully we won't have the problem. Now, the other thing I've quickly looked at is I've gone online to see if I can buy these screens. I typed in 54-pin LCD connector, and I've got ones that look exactly the same as here online, but the SN number down here is different. So this is like SN, well, you can see it there, but the ones online I think were 4134 or 4145, something like that. It was one digit out here, which might mean it's completely different, but they measured exactly the same size. I don't know about the resolution and stuff on here. I mean, I don't know whether they're interchangeable or not. Maybe by just having one digit out here, the voltages and stuff are all different and on different pins. I really haven't got a clue. But that's what I'm going to work on now. So I won't be able to show you me scraping this bit because I'm going to do it on a flat edge. And but all I'm going to be doing is scraping that bit away there. And then we'll see what happens, because I really have got nothing to lose. Because if this screen is broken, then, and it looks like it's broken because every time we disconnect it, the Game Gear stays on and plays the game. It's just like I can't see it. So I'm like 99% sure that this is the issue. So yeah, I'll get back to this shortly. Okay, so you can see I've scraped it back there, and what I've done here is I've scraped either side of the damage, and this is a bit worrying. There was continuity between the top and the bottom. I've ruined it now because I've actually damaged the ribbon cable from all the scraping, as in I've cut through the tracks now, but there's still continuity between here and here. So that's weird because there is continuity through the damage. And then what I did is I put my meter on this side here, and then I went across here and here expecting to hear some continuity, and I didn't. So I'm not too sure what's going on here now, but my luck might be about to change because I was thinking about this screen and I remembered that basically I had this here. Now, this is a security tester. I was going to use it for a watch Nintendo Switch, but look what screen we've got in here, because I have got various different screens, you know, for different projects throughout the ages, and a lot of them are widescreen nowadays, aren't they? But this isn't. This is a 4x3. So amazingly, look what ribbon cable it has. Now, this isn't the same number, but it looks identical. So this would be the same one that I would be buying if I was buying it off eBay. Look, 54 pin. Check it out.
How lucky is that? It looks identical, even down to the components, but it has definitely got a different model number. If you have a look there, this is a 41345, and this over here is a 4135. So they're definitely different, but the tracks, everything looks the same. The components look the same. I mean, I haven't gone across every single one, but can you see that it says Y1, X1, Y2? And here it says Y1, X1, Y2. So let's pop this in here and let's see if this one makes any difference. Because you can get these testers, I've had a look, for £25. I think I paid about £30 because it was a UK seller at the time. Alright, let's see what's going to happen now. Nervous? Yes, very. Don't want to short anything out. Right, let's get the game in. What do you reckon? I'm not so sure. No. Exactly the same. So what on earth is going on? Different screen, same issue. Is this something I've done? I've gone across every single thing. I've looked through the microscope. Everything that I can see has been done properly, and I've also, unbelievable, I've also taken all these off down here and I've checked them with my meter, and they're all testing perfect. I've taken the UV glue off. I've run a new wire from there to there. They're all testing as they should. Right, this is starting to get interesting now. So this is the faulty screen that I've got connected into my security tester. Okay, so this is the faulty McWill screen that's into my security tester, and I have physically cut wires on that ribbon cable. I've got this cheap little fake clone, whatever it is supposed to be, PSP I believe, connected to it, and if you have a look now, when I go across here, you can see that it's moving. Obviously there's no sound, I haven't connected it up. But what is going on? So basically, let me go to start. So the screen itself is working. Look at that. What's happening here? So the screen isn't damaged, because otherwise it wouldn't display, would it? I'm wondering whether it's a faulty board. I've gone across the McWill board on the capacitors, and there's nothing short in there. As far as I can see, I've done everything correct. I've moved all the capacitors up so they're not shorting, but remember the Game Gear was working earlier on. I am so confused about what's going on at the moment. Well, I'm going to keep looking at it, but I think I'm going to have to call it a day soon. This might be one for you guys to sort out, because I think I've pretty much gone as far as I can go now. Let's just mess around with the contrast, see if that does anything. No. Right, I'll be back shortly. Okay, I'm hopeful. I'm very hopeful. I went through absolutely everything again, and I didn't find anything wrong with the wiring or anything, which is what I expected, but I think it was the way that I read this. Now, I don't know if it's the way it's written, or, to be fair, I did fail English language, I think, 3 times at my GCSE, so I kept getting a D. Eventually I passed it. But now, remember I said I was going to do the VGA mod at a different time. It says here, so I was up to this point here, then solder pin 3 of the thumb wheel to ground on the Game Gear board, which I did, which was pin 3 up here to ground. And then the next bit I read as this: if you don't want to install the VGA connector, you can leave the backlight wire. Then it says otherwise, so in other words, if you don't want to install it, you can leave the backlight wire. And then I read it as this: otherwise solder 1 wire from backlight of the Game Gear mod to pin 2 on the thumb wheel, and 1 wire from the C-Sync of the GG mod to T2 on the Game Gear PCB. Now, because that's all one sentence, I took that as meaning if you're not doing the VGA, you don't solder one wire from the backlight of the Game Gear mod to pin 2, and you don't solder one wire off the C-Sync to Game Gear mod to T2 of the GG PCB. Then I took it up from solder 3 wires from this. So now if this was written, otherwise solder one wire from the backlight of the Game Gear mod to pin 2 of the thumb wheel, full stop. Next line, solder one wire from the C-Sync to the Game Gear mod, I would have done that, but I didn't do that. So I've done it now, and I'm wondering, could it be that? Is it the way that it's written? So now I haven't connected this up since I've soldered that new wire on. The C-Sync here. Let's now see if that makes a difference, because everything else is showing okay. Remember, I've got the faulty screen on it now, so I don't know if the screen is going to actually do anything. Right, let's get Wonder Boy. Imagine if it was going to work now. I've spent so long on this. No. What have I done wrong? I don't think I can do this anymore. Oh, I thought that might have been it. I was really hopeful. Oh, do you know what? This has been horrendous for me. Absolutely horrendous. Right, let's try it with the good screen. Come on. No. Right, okay, I can't do it any longer. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to leave it up to you guys, and hopefully one of you lot would have done this quite a few times and you'll know what's going on. So, we know that the screen is okay, don't we? Because I've got it working on my security tester. So the screen looks like it's fine. Now I'm going to take you through every single thing, close up. Right, so we're going to start up here. Now I don't know if you want to screenshot that on your phone or something like that, where you can refer to it. But I'm just going to talk you through, and I'm just going to read it word by word from here. Step is solder 6 wires from the old LCD ribbon cable connector thing, pin 9, 16, 18, 20, 39, 57, and then they've obviously got to go to these ones off the GG mod. So have a look up here and it tells you where the GG mod is. So let's start with CL2, okay? CL2 should be pin 9. So let's go over here. And let's count on. Let's zoom in. Right, so this is pin 1. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, let's do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Because these ones here are not doing anything. So this is definitely pin 1 here. And that corresponds to the drawing that's been done in the instructions. If you have a look down the bottom, you can see it's exactly the same. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 before pin 1. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And you can see that on that wire there, I've used a blue and green. And that goes up to that connector there, which corresponds, remember you're looking at it upside down now, so let's do this upside down. That corresponds to CL2. So I'm just going to check for continuity on that one. Oh my god. Oh my god, I found the fault. Wow. The wires were too similar. Look,
I've done white green. Oh wow, I've done, oh, I hope this is it. I've done white green, which is the one all the way over here, to CL2, so I need to swap them two. So the one that goes all the way over here, oh please let this be it. The one that goes up to here is D3, and D3 is 57. I need to swap this wire and this wire. Oh please let this be it. Right, let me unsolder them and swap them over. Right, okay, so I have swapped over the white blue with the white green, which is now correct. You can see how close they are in colour. And I've undone the C-Sync wire as well, because I think I did read it correctly the first time. Otherwise I think there would be a full stop and it would be a new sentence. So now, let this work. Surely it's going to have to do something now. Right, okay, let's go. Oh god. Yes! Oh, brilliant! Why's it gone off? No, don't do this to me. Why is it going off? Right, let's put it fully in case it needs some sort of ground or something. Let's put it, hold on now. I've got capacitors sticking up everywhere at the moment. Surely there can't be more problems. Unless of course the screen might be faulty. Well, that's pretty much it. Put the game in. Right, that's in there now. Why is it turning off? Oh, come on, I can't take any more. Let's try a different game. I didn't like that game at all. Wonder Boy was definitely working earlier. Right, we've got that now, which is good. It's turning off straight away, so that could still be to do with the screen, couldn't it? So let's... doesn't want to come out now. Other game. Let's pop the screen out. Be a small price to pay if I just have to get another screen. Let's just pop the game in here. And now let's turn it on, try not to short everything. Yes. But it's going off. Why is it going off? Is it that C-Sync? Do I need to put the C-Sync back on? I don't know why it's cutting in and out. Let's get that well out of the way in case that was shorting. What's going on? Could it be battery related? Let me solder this C-Sync back on, and I might try different batteries. Right, so same old batteries, but I've just put the C-Sync on. No. Oh yeah, it is. Nope. Do you know what though? That could just be batteries, because it's every time the music comes on. In fact, what I could do is lower the volume right down. No. Okay, let's see what it does now. So far so good. Excellent. Wow. Do you know what? That screen looks amazing. Oh, wow. That screen really does look unbelievable. Oh, whoa. I am worn out. Honestly, mentally drained. What an idiot I am. All that because there was a wire that was crossed. Ugh. Right, so what do I have to do now? Let's try the original screen. How lucky would I be if the original screen was actually working, so I could still have my security camera thing. Security tester. Right, let's see now if it's going to do it. Ah, the screen's not right. Yeah, it's missing colours. But you know what? I'm not too bothered because I can get the screens for, I think it was £13 or £14. Yeah, so contrast doesn't make any difference. Yeah, no. That's from the cut ribbon cables. So with all that testing, it was me that mucked up the ribbon cable. It wasn't the screw. It wasn't when I put the screw in the back. But you know what? This screen would be okay for my security camera thing. It's not a camera. It's like a tester. I could just use this screen in there, and because you only need to see an image. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Did I just short something there? Why is it gone off? Right, I'm going to swap the screens over and try to get this back together. Now I've got to try to get this screen off, which might be troublesome. Right, I'm going to get my blade. Okay, managed to get it off. So now I'm going to get some new pads and try to line up the new one. These are just pads from the pound shop, little double-sided pads. I'm just going to put Captain tape back on the areas that I had it on before. And because this video has been going on and on and on forever, I'm just going to obviously just fast forward through this whole process super quick. And also to putting it all back together. Right, okay, back together. So now I just need to put this final screw in this top bit here. Only joking, imagine if I did that again. Oh, imagine. Okay, let's go. Let's see what it now looks like. That is so bright. Let's turn these lights off. Oh, wow. Actually, you can't see it very well with those lights off. Let's put one on. Press start. The D-pad's not working. Oh, sorry. Woo! Oh, it was the demo. I thought my D-pad wasn't working. No, I don't know about copyright on this. I better put the music down. Right, that appears to be working fine. That screen is so bright. It really is. I mean, I know I've had hell with this, which is all my own doing, all my own fault. But that screen is amazing. I'll tell you what, you'd soon forget how much pain you had installing it when you look at that. It is so bright. It's just beautiful. Yeah, I'm well happy with that. Now, what happens if we hit these three together? Do we have to do that at the beginning? Oh, here we go. Look, it's gone different. Yeah. Oh, no, it's really zoomed in, is it? I'll have to read up how to do it. Oh, look at that. Oh, look how small it is. Yeah, I've got to read up how all that works. Oh, I'm so happy I eventually got it working. Wow. Right, let's just put this game in. Now remember, I have to do a VGA mod on this, and also there's a bit of dirt stuck in there as well, but I can clean it up properly next time. Oh my, I hope that comes out in the camera. How good does that look? And it's so bright, you don't have to... You know, on a sunny day you would still see that easily. I'll tell you what an amazing mod. Yes, I mucked it up completely. I went through hell and back, but I got there eventually. So it was all because of a dodgy, because I had two wires in the wrong orientation, because I used wires that were too similar in look. But the thing is, as an ex-telephone engineer, I'm normally really good with wires. That's terrible. But also, lesson learnt about putting the screw in there. Looking back, I don't think the screw was the problem. I might even be able to fix this up, you know, by running some jumpers, by jumpering up the gap here. In fact, I might just try to do that myself off camera to put back in this little security thing here. Oh wow, well I got there eventually. I don't know how long this video is going to be. I've been on this now from about 8 o'clock till 2 in the morning, and then from about 10 o'clock, and it's 2:30 now, so I've been on it a long time. But hopefully I'll try to get the video down as short as possible, but it will still probably be well over an hour. But that is it. I'm so pleased I got there in the end. I'm glad I didn't give up early on, because I'd be really disappointed. Finally got there. If I had to do another one of these now, I would honestly find it much easier. Remember, it's my very first time doing this, and not just that, it's my very first time kind of doing any kind of mod. Like, I haven't done it before on the Atari Lynx or anything like that, or on the Game Boy. So yeah, it could have gone a lot better, but the end result is that I have got a working Game Gear with an absolutely amazing screen. So that is it for this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. I've really been through it on this one. And subscribe for more trying to fix videos. Take care. Bye now.